Okay, we're back with Mary Anne. Mary Anne, before the break, we were talking about the relationship between the Illuminati and Freemasons. Can you tell, and you were saying that the Illuminati are old families, generational Satanists.
Yeah.
So how do they fit in with Freemasonry? Are they the elite of Freemasonry? Are they like 33
yes,
degrees
essentially. Yes, that's a very good descriptor. These are people who, at least in the European arena, that is definitely true. The world has basically been divided into 10 regions with different groups being in control of those regions. And in North America, most definitely, they are people related to the crowns of Europe, and also Europe has been united in the European Union. We will be seeing something similar occurring here and in South America, and all those individuals are very interrelated through marriage and various relationships.
Now, Mary Anne, every time I mention the Illuminati, I get letters from people who say I'm just covering up for the Jews. It's the Jews, and the Illuminati don't exist, and I'm just basically a frontman for the Zionists trying to cover up their role. Is this true?
Actually, I find that pretty funny. I would most certainly, my first thought is those are the people that are writing you are the people that you're exposing. It's as if you were to say that every Muslim is a terrorist, every Christian speaks in tongues. I mean, there's just no way to delegate and assign a group of people as being solely involved in domination when it comes to religion. In fact, Masonry is very similar to many of the teachings in Islam. So I find that really interesting that they would accuse you of that. Realize that their agenda is to keep people in the dark so that they can do what they want to do.
But Freemasonry is based on the Jewish Kabbalah, and Jews have claimed a connection with Freemasonry. Do you have any particular knowledge about the relationship between Jews and the Illuminati?
Yes. First of all, any good Jew knows that there are different thoughts or what would be comparable to a denomination in the Christian church. And Kabbalah is, number one, very, very involved in the Freemasonry. It's just as Wicca and paganism and some of the other esoteric groups, the New Age group, all play a role in the Illuminati and their agenda. So, yes, there's absolutely some people who are Jewish who have a lot of control in this, and definitely, we are familiar with those people that have been named, and that's accurate. But to say all are involved, that's really unfortunate, and it's distracting from the real issue.
Well, you've mentioned Mormons, for example. So there's and some Muslims. So Nation of Islam you've mentioned. So there's various groups contributing to this Illuminati. You mentioned the Illuminati agenda. Is this financial breakdown that we're seeing now the financial breakdown that they predicted will lead to martial law?
I believe so. That is why I'm on this program. I feel that very strongly. Will it come tomorrow? I don't know. Is it coming? They're definitely pushing that. There are other forces that could come and maybe postpone that, or they might postpone it themselves if they have a reason to believe that they're not going to be able to pull it off like they desire to pull it off, whatever that means for them. But definitely this is a very big attempt in shifting financial resources from those who are not in the Illuminati to those who are a part of it. And make no doubt about it, they have been planning this for a very long time. This is not a surprise to them.
Well, this is a good moment to pause for 3 minutes, and then we'll have a 17-minute segment without commercials. Thank you, Mary Anne. We'll be back in 3 minutes. We're back with Mary Anne, and we're talking about the martial law scenario, which involves a financial breakdown, civil disturbances, then martial law, rounding up of dissidents, and I'd like to know, Mary Anne, why they would do something so extreme when they've got everybody under control and people don't even know it. They're far more easy to control when they're ignorant of the fact they're being controlled. They're certainly going to know they're being controlled when there's martial law. There's something like 300 million guns out there in the United States. How do they really think they're going to be able to pull this off?
Honestly, I think that's an excellent question. I'm not sure I can fully answer that. I do think that there is power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. I think that they just want to treat people as inhumanely as possible. I think that they want to see who can be the king of the hill. I really don't understand, after you have your first billion under your belt, why you need 2 billion. It really doesn't make a lot of sense to me, and that's part of the reason why I'm not a part of their organization. I don't know how, maybe it's more or less the sense that they can. People who are sociopathic don't make a lot of sense, and that's why it's hard to determine what a sociopath is going to do. And I definitely think that the people in the highest levels are typical sociopaths. If you do any study in that realm, I think that they fit the description pretty well. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but I do know that that is something I heard all my life. And so I know it's an agenda, a desire. I know they want to control Jerusalem. They are very superstitious in a sense. They believe that they attain power through raping people. They believe that they attain power by killing people. They believe that certain lands are spiritually relevant, and I know that they want to control Jerusalem, and this is part of how that will come to pass in their perception. It's domination. It's simple. Beyond the money, it's domination.
It's pure power. Now,
absolutely.
Mary Anne, you've indicated that you've associated with people, the top echelon of the Illuminati, perhaps not the very top, but certainly the top echelon of people we would know about.
Yeah.
What are these people like as individuals, speaking in general terms?
A lot of them, and especially I think this is why they hold the positions that they do, a lot of them are people that you'd never guess. They're people that are very good in front of a camera. They're very good at public speaking. They have a way about themselves that's very charismatic, and that's specifically why they're often chosen for the particular position that they're in, is because we all have aptitudes, and this is something they study from very young ages, and something that they are constantly grooming. If you show an aptitude for maybe solving puzzles, you might be directed into medicine or directed into law. As I said, they're in all areas of the government, and so people who play well with others, to use a common phrase, are people that are in very commercial contact type jobs. They might be a CEO of a company or a public relations person or a salesperson, but particularly in government, they're more than likely your congressman or your senator. And this is at all levels of government.
Mary Anne, what percentage of Congress, and I mean the Senate and the House, do you think are members of the Illuminati?
Well, that's hard for me to gauge. I have been out for a little while, so I don't have all the people in mind that necessarily I traveled in the circles that they did, but I would say 80-90% is very safe to say, particularly when you're considering the House of Representatives. In the Senate, I think it's pretty much a given that if you're a senator, you're definitely a part of it.
What about the candidates for president and what about the candidates for president and the vice president?
Well, it is my experience that you do not get to serve in that position unless you're involved and totally sold out to their agenda.
In a previous conversation, you mentioned a certain monarch, and how this monarch was, I think you said, a piece of work. Can you elaborate?
Yes. Very, very powerful person, and has had a phenomenal influence in the way things happen here and within Europe and probably other parts of the world as well. Very much related to world leaders all over the world. If you study history, this would be very obvious to you. And I consider this person to be absolutely terrifying. Every interaction I've ever had with this person was chilling.